Hi, and welcome to the fried chicken restaurant. How can I help you? I'm kinda curious. I don't know what to get. What do you have? Oh my, you're lucky today because we have got 6 kinds. We have Edgeshot, Endeavor, we have Kamui Woods, we have Mountain Lady, which is highly requested by the way, we have Deku, and we have Best Jeanist, so feel free to choose. Alright, I gotta admit, now I'm gonna tell you that a lot of my theories that I projected last week, came all true. I told you the Lady Nagant will talk about with Hawks, and he will explain his past. I talked about Deku, and I talked about Endeavor and All Might and how they are going to arrive, and I talked about All For One who likes to project everything, same like me, which I like to project chapters by the way. So all of them came true. Hey everyone, it's the Manga Viewer, and today we'll be talking about what will happen in My Hero Academia chapter 317. So without further ado, let's get on. I want to remind you this is a spoiler video, so if you aren't caught up with the manga, proceed with your own caution, you have been warned. And if you like my content, feel free to join the channel. Let's get to 2K together. Alright, let's get on. So before I talk about the theories and what will happen, I just want to go for a quick recap of what happened in the chapter and give you a little bit of hints and details that happened that you probably haven't noticed. First is the picture where Lady Nagant gets captured by Deku and where he pulled them together. The same shape actually represents Spider-Man when he's trying to catch the civilians or the villains from a high building. So it's a nice Easter egg that Horikoshi is trying to show us. Another cool thing to think about is that in the last chapter where I talked about Lady Nagant, I told you if she's alive then she will be really helpful for the heroes. And that was actually correct, where she actually told them where the hideout is and where they actually got blown away. Another cool thing to think about is the car of All Might. Like, we saw it get two times exploded by one of the time with the villains, and the second time where he dodged a shot from the villains. And he still came with the same car. Can we just admire Hercules? I don't know if it's a new car, but it's obviously the same car as Hercules. So I think that's a really cool Easter egg that Horikoshi is showing us and how durable All Might's car is. I gotta admit, All Might's car is definitely a Batmobile. It's like a rip-off of Batmobile. But I think it's really cool. It's a really cool Easter egg that he came up with the same car, and his face worrying about Deku is definitely something really nice and really cool to show just how All Might worries about everything, even though he's retired right now. And he's just an amazing character. So I think that's a really nice detail that Horikoshi added, and I think that's really cool. So first, the chapter actually shows us how Deku saves Lady Nagant, and Shizaki and Lady Nagant gets captured. Lady Nagant gets sent to the hospital, and Shizaki gets sent to the prison while he's trying to save his boss. Another cool thing to admire with Deku is that he said, if you're willing to apologize to Eri, then I'm willing to take the deal instead of Lady Nagant. Nothing but admire Deku. Thank you. So after that, the heroes goes to the mansion where the All For One predicts everything that happened, every single move of them, and then he says, now it's your turn, and then boom, everything just explodes. So what will happen next? Well, I have a lot of theories about how the heroes are alive and how the heroes might be dead, or injured at least. So first of all, let's talk about who's there in the mansion. There's 6 people. Hawks isn't with them, All Might is not with them, and the rest of Kamui Woods, Edgeshot, Endeavor, Mountain Lady, and Best Jeanist, and Deku. Those are all the people that have went to the mansion. So that makes them 6 heroes. 5 of them are pro heroes that rank for the top 10. Most of them. So anyway, are the heroes alive? Are they dead? Well, here's what I think will happen and will most likely happen. The explosion will not kill the heroes, it will make them injured, it will give them a huge injury for all of them, that all of them will fall down unconscious, maybe heavily injured, and then All For One and the villains will surround the mansion and take Deku while he's unconscious. That's the first scenario. The second scenario is that Deku will use Black Whip to cover everyone in a cocoon, similar thing, to protect everyone from the explosion. Because you don't have to forget that Deku have danger sense, it's like a spider sense type of thing. So I think he will focus all the anger that he's surrounded on All For One, because we saw him getting angry at All For One, and we know that the Black Whip quirk works with anger. So probably Deku stored all the anger and unleashed it in one big cocoon to protect everyone. Another scenario that all of those heroes, 5 heroes, will be dead, for example, and Deku will be heavily injured, or maybe the explosion just focused on the places where the pro heroes are and left Deku alone, so that the villains and, everyone will capture them. Another cool thing to think about is that Endeavor will get affected by the explosion, since his quirk is basically fire, so if he covers himself with fire, he might protect himself. Kama Woods, however, is not that strong against fire, so here's the thing. Some of those heroes might be dead, some of them might be alive, and another cool thing is that Mount Lady will actually be the MVP. How is that? Well, she's gonna gigantify herself to protect everyone, and she will take the explosion head on. She will probably feel unconscious, and as All For One and the villains arrive, all the pro heroes, the 5 heroes, will stand their way against them and fight them with all their might. So that's actually another possibility. Another cool thing to think about is that the chapter will actually shift to the other pro heroes that wasn't with them. For example, All Might, Hawk, Slade, and Gaunt. Maybe they are all staying in the hospital, and then they will keep in signal with the pro heroes, and then the signal will be cut out, so everyone will be worried, and then news will come out and be explosion happened in Hormy Woods or something, and that will be really cool for the others. And another thing, as this is happening, they will probably say Deku, the pro hero, or Deku, the class 1A students got captured, or the pro heroes actually got dead. The news will actually cover that those 6 pro heroes are not alive, or they are dead. And everyone will panic, but then they are actually not dead, they are alive, and maybe they will get captured or something. You know how the media works, and My Hero Academia, and in general, they try to spice things up every now and then. So I think that would be really cool to see, actually, the perspective of the others for the explosion. It will probably continue from where it left off, as I said, or it will probably shift to other perspectives of the heroes and all the others. Another cool thing to think about is that the chapter will actually show the perspective of the class 1A student along with the others, in the UA school, or the villain's perspective, for example, Shigaraki, Dabi, or all of those. Maybe class 1A, for example Shoto, or Bakugo, or maybe Uraraka, Kaminari, those class 1A especially, will be we can't just sit there and watch. We have to go and rescue Deku, we have to go and help. We don't want him to take the burden himself. Maybe Bakugo will be I don't want them to take the burden, or how Bakugo thinks and stuff like that. So I think that would be really cool. And all the pro heroes, those kids coming all together to rescue the pro heroes, I think that would be really cool. Maybe the scenario will play out like this. No one can predict the explosion, even Deku. Everyone gets exploded, gets badly injured, feels unconscious. They get captured. All For One tries to steal One For All, and as this is happening, as the news announced that the pro heroes got captured, class 1A will be you know what, we can't just sit there and be nothing is happening. So then they will rush to the campus and stuff like that. Maybe Jiro will use her headphones to help the class 1A, addressing where all the villains and stuff like that. And this where the final battle will take place. I think that would be a really cool possibility as well. Maybe all the pro heroes getting captured and Deku staying away or running away. Maybe not running away, but getting far from there, so he can regroup or rethink and then go again with the class 1A. I think that would be really cool as well. So I think this is where the final battle will take place. It will be really cool to think about, for example, Deku and class 1A fighting. As Hirokoshi Sensei said, that Uraraka and class 1A students will take a huge place in the final battle, so I think that would be really cool. Anyway, that's just a theory, a long theory, not just for chapter 317, for the end of My Hero Academia as well. So I think that would be really cool to think about and see. Maybe we'll get announced to see another cool new characters. Maybe those other characters that Lady Nagan talked about, maybe they will be actually the ones to capture Deku and the others. So I think that would be really cool to see. Anyway, that's just a theory, so feel free to talk about yours as well. Feel free also to follow me on Twitter, where I talk about my theories and translations as well. Anyway, if you like my content, feel free to join the channel. I have been the Manga Viewer, and I will see you all next time.